All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 20-something episode of the Temple Podcast. I think this is the 22nd episode, but it'll say at the bottom of the video what episode title it is. As you can tell, I have not one but two guests here, which is unusual. However, because it's these guys, I made a special exception, and I think it'll be pretty good. So with me today, I have two airborne players, Smooth Criminal and Swede, and we're here to talk about some CS. So how are you, boys?
Very well. As you can see outside, it's very nice and sunny. Just excited to be here and to be chatting really. And please just call me Liam. Don't say the whole
The
smooth
whole
criminal.
Smooth Criminal
It's a,
thing? Sure.
it's a bit too much to hear on a regular basis.
Yeah, yeah. I get it, I get it. It's a long
Yeah.
Let the
name.
door of the game off.
That's an old alias in the past. I try and bury my past.
I
much.
don't even talk about my old aliases, so don't worry about it. It's not worth it. It goes very deep into a dark place, and it's just not worth going there anymore.
I agree.
What's the weird wooden circle behind you, if you don't mind me
Me?
asking? Yeah.
That is something my dad bought a while ago. It's called hooky. I feel like it's not actually called that, but it's like a wooden circle with hooks on it, and you throw little rubber circles on it. I think
it's
it's
a
like a
game.
game that my dad probably played when he was like 12, and so he's like, yeah, he'll love this.
Fair enough. Do you live
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere? Is there just there's not a lot going on? Is that way?
No, he just likes to buy interesting things. Don't
Okay,
blame
fair
him.
enough.
I don't know what
You gotta do what you gotta do. And Swede, you've got what appears to be a projector on your roof.
Oh, yep.
That's what's going on there.
In the theater room. which is
Oh.
not one-
He likes to watch your demos in bed, really, on
Yeah, just chuck them up.
the big spread. Yeah,
That's
The
nice.
board demos.
Well, I guess the bigger the demo is, the more you spot, right?
yeah.
That's how it works.
More pixels, yeah.
Yeah, you can see Dexter in the corner where you couldn't before. He's just sitting there. Anyway, so we got a lot to talk about today because there is a lot of things going on, and I've been away for a while, so that allows me to really, really stretch it out if I want to. But I do have both of you guys here, and so I think it does allow us to sort of talk about things that maybe you don't really get to speak about if it's just one person. So
Yeah.
I did want to ask, how long have you guys been playing together in a sort of, well, you can go with a non-competitive and then a competitive if that applies.
Oh, I mean, we never were friends before we started playing. Like,
Mhm.
we made. Well, what happened was I tried to make a team. Would have been sort of started 2018, right? With Dezabel and JD,
Mhm.
and we're making that team. It was all going really well until they both decided to leave my team and join a team called Conspiracy, which had Swede on it, and I was like, God, I fucking hate this guy. God, what kind of person just goes behind someone's back and steals two of their players?
That is really filthy.
Yeah.
Made
And
an
then-
offer they could not refuse.
And then the next season, he asked me. He poached me from my own team. So, and then
That is
so
brilliant.
Probably late 2018 is when we started playing together. But yeah, no, but he looks innocent, but he's a bit sneaky. This one.
That's truly a mastermind play to poach someone
Yeah.
from their own team. That's like
He poached the whole team onto him.
Yeah.
So instead of joining the team, he just brought everyone onto his team one by one.
I would be worried for
Trick is to
Australis.
back them into a corner. So they have no other option.
Brilliant. This is like some Game of Thrones stuff we're talking about here. You're really getting that whole Cersei Lannister shit going on. But all right,
Yeah.
fair enough. And so has it always been? Well, it's not always been under the sort of airborne banner. But what were the other banners you guys played under?
Well, sort of we created the whole Mad Like Wizards team. The Swede was the whole guy behind that, but we had some things happen behind the scenes, and so we had to. Unfortunately, we did all the practice with him and another member, and then by the time the seasons came around, we had to replace them, and that's why we had ADK and Chelios in that roster, because the original team kind of fell apart a little bit. But
As they
yeah.
often tend to do in the Australian Counter, right?
yeah,
Which
but
I guess is a good segue to you guys. Obviously, you guys have been in quite a couple of lineups with some different players and stuff like that. And I think that recently we've all seen the success of a team like Genuine coming through, and you get people talking about how, like, oh, this is why it's so important to stay together with certain people, because you can really get that growth coming in. Now, for you guys, what do you think are some of the sort of like difficulties when it comes to sticking in a 5-man lineup for that sort of period of time?
I think a lot of players have difficulties communicating. Like, they have difficulties communicating issues when they come up. They might be like too toxic or not upfront with the issues that they have. And then on the other side of that, people tend to not be able to take criticism well, depending how they're receiving it.
Fair enough.
yeah, and another thing is there's sort of another category of players that I like to call I'm not gonna be able to say the word properly, but schemers schemers, like people who are always trying to get a leg up, and they'll be the ones messaging teammates trying to like cause rifts in the team, like I don't want to play with this person.
Oh, Shazam.
My mates, he's just left his team, he's really good, and I feel like a lot of that comes through like you get people trying to get their mates onto teams, and like getting rid of players that they don't like and stuff like that, which it's a part of it. You have to like who you play with.
Yeah.
That's another thing. So it's
Especially
understandable.
especially at this level, you like there's not really you've almost got to play for passion of it. And so
Yeah.
with that, it's very difficult to be like, okay, well, I'll play with this guy who I hate, but at least he's good and we might win, you know what I mean? So I think that
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, like having team chemistry, like it's number one. It's the most important thing. Being able to be really open as well. Like, I say things to teammates that like I only say them because they're like best friends. Like, I wouldn't say that to someone if I was to join a new team with people I wasn't friends with. I wouldn't say a lot of the stuff I say because you don't want to upset people. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's necessary stuff I'm saying. Like, I might say it in a funny way, like Damo, why the fuck are you jumping into CT spawn with a Mac 10 when they're on full eco? Like, what what's gone into your head, mate? What kind of drugs you're on?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it gets the point across, and it's a little bit endearing being able to shit talk your teammates. It's a nice feeling, and as long as it's reciprocal.
Yeah. But two-way shit talk. That's
Definitely,
really how you make a team. As long as I can call you an idiot and you can call me an idiot, we can probably make a very good Counter-Strike team.
Yeah, nice. Even ground. No one's above anyone else.
Fair enough. Okay. And what's going on with the sort of leadership then of the airborne lineup? Do you guys move the in-game leader around, or is there somebody who's set calling?
Wait, which way is it? This way.
No, that would be me. I'm not leading your team, so.
No, on my screen, I'm pointing towards.
Oh,
Swede,
right, yeah, right. I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not your in-game leader.
So this is your chance to talk about yourself, Dalton. Tell them how great you are.
I don't know. I take on the in-game leading responsibilities, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that?
On this team, or
just in general? Did you pick it up as soon as you started playing competitively, or was it something you fell into?
bit on and off since I've been playing.
Fair enough. And how has it been, I guess, is there any difference to, I guess, being an in-game leader for people that you're, I guess, closer to in terms of like being friends with those people? Does that make it easier, or does it make it hard, do you think, in your opinion?
I don't know. It feels the same, but like, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
well, I remember once he was talking to me about his calling, This would have been a while ago, and he said that he wants to, it's important to play with people that are going to be confident in what you're saying. So
Yeah.
so believe in you, sort of thing. And
Yeah.
while that doesn't necessarily only come from being a close friend, sometimes it can come from respecting them as a Counter-Strike player. But I think that's a lot easier when you're friends to trust each other.
Yeah, like if I'm playing with Damo or Banana on Inferno or whatever, and I tell him just run down Banana looking at the floor, he's gonna do it because
he believes in you.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. I guess it really does tie into something that I've talked to a lot of players and obviously seem to hear the same sort of thing, which is that there's not too much in terms of like mentorship that goes around in Australian Counter-Strike, and because of that, you do get a lot of in-game leaders that it's not exactly like they've come from chiefs or fucking renegades or greyhounds or whatever, and they've really had to kind of build up their own style just purely by themselves. So Swede, did you have any kind of influence on your in-game leadership, or did you really just mold that yourself?
Well, I had help from a player called Numpy. He used to play 1.6 in Source.
Mm-hmm.
He influenced me a fair bit. A lot of it was just taking in demos, like a lot of demos, and then combining that with what Numpy had tried to influence on me.
Fair enough. What would you say are the most important traits then for an in-game leader for you?
Well, the basic generic stuff, like being able to see both sides of the story or the argument, being able to be a mediator, not confrontational really.
So for you, it's more about the personal side of things then. Like, how good is that person as almost a people person,
Yeah, pretty much. You got to be able to, like I was saying earlier, be friends with your team. You got to be able to pug with them outside of the game, not just leave TeamSpeak once scrims are done. Yeah.
Fair enough. And Liam, do you have any? You the same?
Yeah, I mean, I was a in-game leader. Like the only teams I haven't in-game led in other teams where I've been playing with Swede because he's a lot better at it than I am.
Right.
But yeah, like when I did it, I wasn't, you don't have to be some tactical mastermind genius. You just have to have a reasonable understanding of the game. You have to be able to, appear confident in what you're saying, and you gotta have a reason for doing it. You can't just. It doesn't help if you know all these really cool strategies what, but why are you saying that? Why are you doing that? You're just doing it because you don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
You can't just you can't just copy what another team does on a 1-to-1 ratio, like exactly what they did, because you're not in their head. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know their reasons behind it. Different teams have completely different play styles, and it's a lot harder to do some strats versus some teams because it's a thing you notice. Like some teams are just a lot stronger in different areas of different maps. And stuff like that. And it's that sort of, it's a little counterplay balance, and then you got to deal with the meta changing as well and stuff like that. But also to rewind a bit onto your previous point when you were saying there's a lack of mentorship coming down from higher teams. Well, that you see a lot of that because when you notice what the top teams, when they pick up new players, it's often younger players, right?
Yeah.
And it's often that entry style, playing Pit on Inferno, playing, B-Site, Dust 2, where it's just they're always the ones just being told what to do. And they're not necessarily, their character is not of a leader. So a lot of them, they play in those teams, and if they don't stick around in those teams, yes, they have a lot of good knowledge, and they learn a lot, but they're not the leading type.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not like you see, I was going to come up with an example, but I can't.
It's fair enough.
It's a bit too early for that. I'm on gamer hours.
It's all right. We don't need to start any massive beef. There's already been enough of that in recent time. So I guess a lot of those players that get picked up and maybe don't succeed just don't really translate to that sort of leadership role, which I guess is a big part of being an in-game leader, is the leading part. Would you say that I guess a majority of like what goes into being an in-game leader is just like a morale thing then? Like being able to know your teammates and say, hey, listen guys, this is going on right now, but you've got to, keep it all together.
I don't know if Dalton agrees with me, but I think that's everyone's job.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
You don't get a a free pass to be a negative Nancy just because you're not the leader. You got to be doing everything you can. Even mentally to keep your team in it. So if that
Everyone's
means
been in that pug where they just get like that miserable fifth, even if it's like a random fifth, and oh, this game's going to be this is going to be a rough game.
Yeah.
Even when the fifth round hasn't even started.
Or
Fair enough. You lose ninth round and they say GG.
Yeah. But yeah, everyone has to stay positive. I believe you always bring up issues. Someone makes a mistake, you tell them. But when you're playing a game, like that goes out the window, and you're like, you keep it down, you keep a grudge, you write it down. Sorry. At the end of the game, you bring it up. But during the game, one thing you got to keep morale up, because it's definitely noticeable. Like when teams are down, like when I've been in teams and it's down, just the talking goes down and you start making mistakes because you're not on the same page for all of the little things. And it's often the little things that, really important when you're playing close games.
Fair enough. Would you say that for new players coming in then, if you've just as an example, you don't have to name anyone, but like people coming in, do you find that is often something that's lacking in newer players, is the mentality side of things, or have you seen sort of good signs for that?
Can't really say.
Oh, well, in my experience, the new players who are really good, they're usually the ones with attitude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new players that are great. They're great people. They're lovely to play with, but it's the people who they're really good. They're used to playing really low levels, and they're smashing it. They're killing it. Number one, they're not playing like proper structured team CS, so they're gonna get a wake up call if they get picked up and start playing a good level. And two, like they just think they're top shit, and really they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? Like kids are always arrogant,
Yeah.
They always want to brag, say they're the best.
Yeah.
But it's important to be confident in yourself as well. I think there's nothing wrong with that. But
temper it.
I guess, just don't shit talk everyone that you get the opportunity to, because someday you might need their help.
Yeah, don't burn your bridges, kids. That's some good advice right there. Don't burn your bridges. Okay, well, let's transfer into the katowice results, because you guys did quite well. Now I'll go actually just to the open qualifier, because you guys got the 2-1 victory over PC 419 to make it into that qualifier. You guys seem quite confident coming into that one. Obviously Inferno, you guys took a little bit of a hit there, but I was surprised by the Vertigo. Are you guys quite comfortable on that Vertigo map then? Or...
Yeah. I wouldn't say now that we don't have a fifth, but when we had a fifth...
yeah. Okay. We'll talk in past tense then. That'll make everything easier. We're comfortable on Vertigo coming into it then. Yeah. Is that a map?
We were one of the first teams to be like scrimming it in this region.
Fair enough.
Like at the start, it was really hard to get scrims. I think we were only scrimming Order for a while on it. Then I think MC picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure he's playing it now, but
yeah, I think Genuine play it now as well. So it's a good map for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, look, when you're like trying to come up, it's important to be able to get like you know, because it's all about like margins, you know, like teams are going to be like X amount better than you at certain maps. You know, when a new map comes out, it's like it's resetting it back to stalemate, you know.
Yeah.
And so you can really get a lot closer on those maps.
Yeah, you can grab a few home maps and sort of, you know, alleviate, especially in series like this where it's all BO3. I can imagine that having a map that you can sort of just go, yep, we can play that one, can really help when it comes to, you know, just making it so you really only have to win one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a simplified version of it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys played quite well. The Vertigo was I'm trying to say a liberal way to put it, but a destruction basically.
Yeah, I think that was JD's playground that game. I think he you know, had a lot of kills, a lot of aggression. That man loves being aggression.
Yeah,
aggressive. I've just butchered it.
A man with pure aggression.
No, like an X Factor.
Solid. And then it went into Nuke, obviously, and that was the closest one, 16-12, in typical fashion. How did you guys think that one went then, over on Nuke? Can you remember that far back? I'm sorry if I'm really throwing you into the deep end with this one, but can you remember being, I guess...
I remember we had a shaky T side because we didn't remember most stuff, but then our CT was pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 rounds.
Nuke's a fun map. Yeah, Nuke's a fun map to play though.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know.
You get a lot of close games, and it's, you know, a lot of opportunities for, you know, conditioning and fakes and all that.
Yeah. It is still CT sided, but for whatever reason, I feel like it has become like if you're good at that map, you can get quite a few T rounds as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's only CT sided because a lot of people are just really shit at the T side, to be honest.
Yeah. That's what I like about it, though, is that it is kind of... It does sort of lean towards a certain way, but if you can play it in the right way, you can craft together some rounds, and that's why I think it becomes a very interesting map to watch, right? Because it is...
Yeah.
It's really... It's down to like, okay, what can they do on their T side? And it goes both ways almost, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it can be... It's not CT sided in the way that Inferno can be CT sided. Yeah. Inferno, you can win a CT side by going AFK and throwing your nades. On Nuke, if you want to win a CT side, like you have to do stuff a lot of the time, you know. It's a lot about that AWPA, you know, get him moving around and reading where the enemy numbers are and stuff. But yeah. So it's a lot less boring than watching a CT side Inferno team AFK and throw mollies at, you know, X time, smoke at this time.
Yeah. It is also really fun to play casually and just say random bullshit like rush vent, rush A, rush ramp, go outside. Those are my favorite calls, personally, from randoms. Especially rush vent. I don't know if you guys have... Listen, I'll give you a pro tip, right? For your next game. Piss around rush vent. If you don't get triple dinked by the guy in mini, then you win the round. So it is a bit of a toss-up, but sometimes it works pretty well. So yeah.
Got that one.
Yeah, write that one down. Okay.
Yeah, no, I did.
Okay, sweet. Good. Okay. So we can then jump in to the katowice main qualifier, I guess. Now, you guys coming into this one got a little bit of a rough draw. I'm not gonna lie. Straight into Renegades. A little bit of a rough one. I don't know if you guys must have been a rough wake up call. I'll be honest when you saw that one rolling in.
I'm gonna pretend the qual just by saying it was cursed for us.
Hey, honestly, man, you played surprisingly well considering the random like bullshit pull that you guys got. It was pretty good.
There was a lot that happened during that qualifier.
It was an eventful day or 2 days.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the first thing that got us was they invited PC 419 because Chiefs obviously died.
Yeah.
And gave him a better seed than us. So we were like, all right, well, you know.
Fair enough. Okay.
But yeah, I don't believe in making excuses. So I was like, you know, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, but you know, you got to beat them if you want to If you want to go to Poland, you got to beat them eventually. So why not just beat them now?
Yeah.
You know? It's probably easier to beat them now than beat them in a grand final. Not that either of those are necessarily easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that, and then
So
Dalton. We'll go through all the unfortunate events that happened on
yeah,
that
let's
first game.
let's do it in chronological order, right?
Alright,
So
so-
let's start with what happened. Because I'll throw it all the way back to just to give it a little bit of order, I guess. When did you guys know that you were playing Renegades first up?
Oh, they sent an email out,
Mm-hmm.
like a week and a half.
And
earlier.
at that point, did you then know that PC-14 was also playing, or was Chiefs
No,
still
no.
in it at that point? Right.
Chiefs was still in that bracket.
Okay, so give me.
We were just sort of hoping that maybe it'd be changed, but then the real bracket came out. I was like, yeah, no worries.
So give me what was what's the thought process when you come into a main qualifier and they go, hey guys, listen, you're playing Renegades first. Good luck. What sort of goes through your mind, and I guess for you, Swede, as well. What do you tell the boys to be like? Hey guys, listen, this is what we got to do.
Well, I just said they got more to lose than us. We'll just give it a good crack, and yeah, we didn't have a fifth at the time until the night before.
Braveheart, basically. You know,
Yeah.
The Scots. All right. So give me the drama then. From that first map, let's go. Let's go from the beginning to the Renegades best of 3. Start with that, and then we'll move to the next bit. You can tell me all the drama that happened after that. Go.
All right, so we didn't have a fifth.
Okay, classic.
We were trying to get a sub. We did the night before, which was Soju.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
I knew a few hours before the qual that my internet would not be the best. Let's just say that. So about 30 minutes before the official was about to start, I decided that I'm going to fly to my mate's house and use his setup.
Okay.
Which he didn't inform me was like best performance was 120 FPS. So
Spicy.
I set up at exactly 6:15. I think it was 6:15, right?
Yeah. So I'm about to go
we
live.
had to go live with pairs because the admins weren't online to put Soju in.
No, that was a funny one. I remember I was in the Discord with the admin. I was like, "Hey mate, just letting you know we've got a sub in for this game. Is it all good? Put him on the roster." And this guy's an ESEA admin, and he's like, "Yep. I don't have permission to do it, but I will contact the ESL admins." And I'm like, "All right, thank you, mate. Let me know." This is a few hours for the game. And then like 20 minutes for the game, he messaged me and said, have not received any confirmation from the ESL admins, so I'll be putting the server live without him on the roster. And I'm like, all right, well, he's our 5th player, and then I ask him, how come the ESL admins aren't responding to you? Is there anyone online I can contact? And he's like, no, there is no ESL admin online at this time during the ESL qualifier. And I was like, all right,
fair enough.
Okay, fair enough. But, he's just doing his job. So it's not the guy I was talking to's fault. It's more the fact that ESL did not have an admin online who had permission to let our player play in the server. So we ended up playing the first map without him, which was, we did fairly well.
So did you play the first map with...
We played it with Pairs, who was a different sub. Yeah.
Right. So how come he has permission, but Soju did not?
He was on our old roster.
Right.
He was like a sub for our old roster.
So you could pull him in, but not...
We pulled in him, but I mean, he had to cancel some plan he had, so it wasn't ideal, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, playing that game. ESL, the admin, he woke up during that first map. He,
got there.
Made himself a cup of coffee, got to his PC, he saw, this guy wants to play in the ESL. I'll allow it. That's what he said. I'll allow it. And so we were good from then on. So it wasn't like the worst thing.
Well, I'm glad that he allowed you guys to play with 5 players.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice of him, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it was just, man needs his beauty sleep.
Yeah,
Beauty sleep.
that's true.
Yeah, and then after the first map, my power just went out. Really.
No, TeamSpeak died during the.
Oh yeah,
first-
TeamSpeak died a few times during the first map,
Oh, sick.
and
Dude.
then straight after the first map, my powers died. But not just regularly. Like it's only in this room that I'm currently sitting in, the power went out.
Mm.
So I was running around in between maps with my 50-meter extension cable running along the house.
So you guys, with all of that, then you still managed to get 10 rounds off Renegades on Overpass.
Yeah. I mean, it's a performance we're happy with, but I mean,
It does suck.
I feel like if you ask them, they'd be like, we played like they would say that they played like dog shit. They'd be like, we haven't played in ages. We're not, at our peak. We're at our lowest form. So it's hard to take a lot from it. You take as much as you can from those games, because.
But when you're playing under those circumstances, it's hard to be like, all right, let's look at the fucking demo, boys. And this was when TeamSpeak died, and you're all just like looking around.
That's the 4K. That's the Swag 7.
He goes a few times with the shotgun. That man, he's a bit sneaky.
Let's analyze this demo.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's good because I mean, this is our first season. Last season we were playing in ESCA Open.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the cyber game of Let's Play Live Pro,
Yeah.
and so of course LPL, they don't have the top 4 teams in the pro division,
Yeah.
and ESCA Open don't have the top 4 teams either.
Mm-hmm.
So we had no experience as this lineup against any sort of top 4 team.
So this katowice qual
in an official match.
Right, so this katowice qual was your first sort of, I guess, official experience against top tier Australian lineups.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't looking to win it. We weren't looking to go Poland, but it was
Get
sort
the experience.
You have a crack, but it was sort of like, we've got nothing to lose. We're gonna play relaxed, and it's just really a benchmark. Can we play against these teams, or are we just not equipped for it?
Yeah, well, to be honest, man, that's kind of how I looked at it, because obviously you guys coming in, I'd seen the names before, and I'd gone, okay, well, let's see how they go. They beat PC 419, so, at least it'll be, I was expecting around that level, to be honest, and then when you guys came in and did what you did, to be honest, I was quite surprised with those lineups, and I think, like you said, it operates as quite a good benchmark of like, okay, this is where you are right now, and from these maps, hopefully, even if it is cursed, there is something you can grab from, at least the Avant or maybe the Ground Zero game. Obviously, we haven't got to the whether or not those were cursed. Well, you can tell me about those later, but
no, those are okay. Those
yeah,
ones.
So at least with those ones, you can kind of gather a little bit more about like, okay, this is what we need to do in the future to sort of build off that. So yeah. And then you guys went into Inferno. How was that? Was there a lot of issues on Inferno as well for Renegades?
No,
we
that
just
was a
like
close one.
T-side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys did.
Sure.
Yeah. You it was 8-7 for.
We were up 11-10, I think, in that game, and then we just
Renegade.
against Renegades we were up 11-10, and then they we were, and then
That was
they
Avant.
I think it was,
against Renegades, and then we lost 16-11.
They were
Right.
up.
We were up 11-10, I'm fairly sure.
Not
Or
against
it was 10 all.
Renegades.
I think it says that you finished the half 8-7.
Yeah, on
Avant.
Inferno against Renegades.
Oh,
You're dumb.
You're thinking
You're
of
honestly
Avant,
dumb.
buddy.
I'm not thinking of Avant. Avant, we were up a lot more than 11-10 on Inferno.
You know what? I think you were up a lot more than 11-10 on Avant. It doesn't matter. Whatever. It's Renegades. It was cursed.
Get this guy off the bloody.
It was
Discord
8-7
call?
a half. All right. It doesn't matter. At least that.
Yeah.
So does that Inferno do work then? Do you reckon you could get some shit off that one, as opposed to obviously the colossal, waste of time that Overpass was, considering you had to wait. At what point did Soju come in? Was that Inferno or was that halfway through
Inferno.
Overpass? Okay.
No, Inferno.
Could you imagine? Did some WWE shit. Soju just coming off the top rope. Oh my God, Soju's here. Just
I
fucking.
think the admin wrote it in the game chat. He's like, you guys can use Soju. Thanks.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Well done.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
I mean, it was a good game to play, but I mean, if you look at the qualifier as a whole, I mean, it's hard to take everything from it because I mean, what you got? Order with new player.
Mm-hmm.
Renegades with a new player. You got Ground Zero playing with a player that I'm fairly sure they weren't practicing with Zeph. They were already looking for his replacement. You've got what was that other team? Avant, which is new roster.
Yeah.
You've got us playing with a sub, and that leaves what PC 419 and Genuine. There's one other team in there that I haven't said. Oh, and that Paradox team had a new fifth. I don't know how long he's been in the
a
team
lot
for.
of new lineups.
So that PC 419 and Genuine are the other two teams that had their 5.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but I think you're still sort of.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's like
equal. It's equal ground.
Teams to, it's not an excuse for those teams to play badly. It just means that the way they play isn't as maybe I can't think of the word.
Cemented.
Yeah. Like it's a lot more loose. Things aren't all the nuts and screws aren't tightened.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, then I do want to go into the Ground Zero game, because this was the win of the tournament.
Our one win.
Listen, in a call like this, sometimes that's just the way it is. Especially when you get fucking Renegades first. I guess. Would have been nice to get the PC 419 seed, but I guess ESR admin was still asleep at that point in time. Anyway, so 16-12 was the first on Overpass again. Is this another map that you guys are looking to sort of, I guess, place your home ground on as well as Vertigo, or is this even more sort of comfortable for you guys?
I don't think I was even at the computer for any of the vetoes.
Brilliant.
Putting that out.
Okay, solid. That's so sick. Okay, so Liam, did you have anything to do with these vetoes?
It was a team effort, minus Dalton. He wasn't involved. But I mean, Overpass, it's a map we're good at. It wasn't our best map over the previous season, but it was a map we were confident that we could fit the role that Lay's left in that map. It was very easy to fill.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very easy to understand. You don't need to micromanage. You just say, you're in this spot, which is like connector on T side mainly, and you're playing monster on CT side. It's like simple.
Yeah.
And so
just go there
that was our go-to for the qualifier. Well, we don't know where we're gonna go from here on, but I mean
it worked.
Overpass was alright. Yeah, no, it was nice to play. It was enjoyable.
Fair enough. 16-12 then, and it comes from, I guess, a very strong CT side of that Overpass map, which I guess is, Overpass is definitely on that CT side. You guys had a very solid, I guess, defense. Again, you're kind of saying it's more of just like a case of we knew we could fill the fifth's role quite easily. Soju can fit straight in there. We don't have to tell him too much. And obviously under the circumstances that you're under, that kind of leads to like, okay, well, we can get away with this then. And then Mirage was the second one. So talk me through Mirage. That was 16-11. And that was 9-6 on your CT side. You guys were up, and then 7-5 on the T side. So what did you get? Did you gather anything from that Mirage map then?
I think Mirage has always been our weakest map.
Mm-hmm. So happy with that result then?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty much on, like, most of it was on the fly, or like trying to quickly relay stuff to Jay or Soju, what he needs to do in that certain round.
Fair enough. I'm guessing it was a lot of a sort of looser style then when you're playing with newer players that are into this lineup. It does become a more looser style of calling, or were you trying to, I guess, fit them into certain things that you'd already built?
A bit of both, really. Like trying to fit Soju into like the defaults, and then sort of moving into a looser style mid round.
Mm-hmm.
Sort is what we're doing during that qual, I guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Can I ask, is there a lot of... Obviously, this tournament probably isn't the greatest example, but maybe for future ones that are coming up, do you think there's going to be a lot of counter-strat involved going on, or would you say it's more going to be about your working on your own game and sort of just trying to improve that and go in with that set style rather than going, okay, we can watch demos of these guys, so what can we do to counter what they're doing?
Well, from my perspective, Swede watches a lot more demos than I do, so he probably does like some counter stratting without like verbally telling us. He'll just call a strat because he thinks it's going to work because the other team likes to do this. But from my perspective, it's more of individual player tendencies and like individual plays that they make. You know, like very small tells. It's not like they're doing this strat or their default to this, but
Yeah.
whatever their AWPer likes to play this spot a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
They always retake mid on vertigo or something when they lose A ramp, stuff like that. Just small things. That's how you sort of you're staying aware and you're playing to like your opponent's sort of play style, but you're also not sacrificing any of your own play style. Like you're playing your own game, just being aware of the likelihood of different things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's the same for like Renegades and Order, but like because our scene is so small, we end up scrimming the same teams like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of their tendencies are picked up through scrims. I don't know if like Order and Renegades are picking up tendencies from teams below them, but yeah, a lot of counter-strutting comes from those scrims as well.
Yeah. So do you think that's why there tends to be a little bit of disconnect when it comes to, I guess, certain teams' results locally and then their results when they go internationally, obviously, because we saw obviously this is a really far throwback and it was a long time ago, but I'm just going to use this example because it's the one that sticks in my head. But we did have Avant go through to the minor qualifier last time, and I think you saw an example of where that international play can be very different to as opposed to sort of like a local play, because when they went through the qualifier for that, they looked really, really, really good, and they beat Order twice, and then it went into that international and the results weren't as good. There definitely seemed to be a little bit more of like okay, what's going on here? Do you think that is why that happens? Because when you're playing locally and it's so separated from everywhere else, you kind of just get into this, I guess, rift of learning to play off individual tendencies? Or would you say it's something different?
I don't know. It's not really a crutch that you need. It's more of like a thing you use to get an upper hand sometimes. I think players at that level, are more than capable of just playing to their own game plan or whatever. It's even like the other team's not going to know their tendencies either.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you're going out there into the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's like a confidence thing.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the gym and you do like, I don't know, like shoulder presses, you're nervous at the start, but you do it over and over again. You keep screaming Order, for example, and then like one day you decide to start doing deadlifts. You're going to be very nervous, like you're playing international.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No, that's a good example, actually. I should quote that one. Put that on your wall.
You gotta build yourself up. I mean, I'm sure, like, I'm not an experienced player, so I can't speak from experience, but I'm sure that the results would have been a bit different if they were coming to Australia to play at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like just small things like that. Just where are you playing?
Okay. Yeah. All right. This is going to be a bit of a hard question because obviously, Swede, you weren't there for any of the vetoes, but I did want to ask because I did think I saw quite a lot of series going a certain way purely off of vetoes and map pools going into a certain direction where it's like, okay, well, this team now has 3 maps that they can play on and 2 that they're really good on, and that's the series now, because just purely because of those vetoes coming in. So I know obviously you weren't there for those vetoes, but for you guys, especially playing locally in a best of 3, how much importance do you place on that veto process? Or is it for you guys, you just got to get good on all of them and then, play what you got?
Oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Well, for us, we can play any map, except we it's no secret. I'm not leaking strats or anything. We don't play train. Like,
Yeah.
I hate the map.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, no, I'm not playing that map. A lot of teams have it like genuine play train a lot. I think auto play train a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty good for us. Like our permaban is one of their strongest maps.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there on, we're like, why not we play any map here? You don't want to be scared. You don't want to be in a situation in a veto where you're like, God, don't pick this map because we're fucked. Because that you're already on the back foot.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be like, yep, all right, not playing that. All right, here we go. Got 6 maps. I don't care. I'm gonna close my eyes and pick the maps because I'm confident in all of them.
Fair enough.
Obviously, a bit we take it a little more seriously, but that's the basic idea. I mean, you want to be able to play every map. But against, different matchups, you sort of favor yourself based on their results, how much they practice it.
Mm-hmm.
So you change it up a bit, but like.
Yeah, the example I was going to use is obviously the nuke map, because right now both the 2 teams that obviously went into the final of the main qualifier, Genuine and Renegades, are both really good on that nuke map, and I think they utilized that to get through some of the tougher series. And then obviously we didn't actually get to see the nuke, but I always felt like this is the problem that Genuine are going to have when they come up against Renegades, is that nuke is a really fucking good pick for them. And when you pick that against Renegades, it's like, yeah, we're really good on this map, but Renegades are beating EG on this map. So do you know what I mean? Like it becomes difficult. So do you, obviously you said what you said before, but is there any kind of like, when you're starting up a new team and you're going, okay, guys, what maps do we want to play? Is there any kind of like, okay, who the best teams in Australia, what maps are they playing? And what are their best maps? Does that come into play at all? Or is it totally like, we're just going to ignore what they're good at and go off what we want to play?
I'm not sure how to answer.
Not sure.
I think it depends how new your team is, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how much practice time you have, if you're coming in as a new team, hypothetically, and you only have a few weeks of practice, like you could get a good Mirage, good Inferno, good Dust 2, or you could, have a pretty, it's because Nuke takes a bit more time because the rotates are trickier, there's a bit more complexity. So it's like it's whether you want to have, you could practice 3 maps really well and be confident in them, or you can just, go for Nuke and try and be really good at it. So I mean, it's one of those maps where you don't see a lot of new teams practicing it first, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least in my opinion, I don't think that you should. But it's definitely a map where, I don't know. I mean, everyone's sort of we play Nuke. We really like Nuke. We just we didn't pick it at all during the qualifier because we hadn't scrimmed it since since November.
Last decade.
We hadn't scrimmed since last decade. So we're just like, don't risk it. If they pick it, we'll play it. If not, just play a map we're more comfortable on. But yeah, I mean, like I remember we were playing Renegades and we were thinking of playing Nuke, and then I'm just thinking, man, these like I thought back to that same Asia qualifier. I'm like, didn't these guys 16 over Vant on Nuke? Like, maybe we'll pick over fast.
I feel too happy about that one. Yeah. So I wanted to. We'll move now into obviously that Avant series because for me this was, I guess, the most interesting.
Cursed.
It was cursed, was it? Okay, we'll
Was
get
it?
into that.
Was the Advanced Series cursed, Dalton?
12-12, Liam, on Dust.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no. It was cursed as in we fucked up a lot. That was a little bit of curse. But...
Okay. Well, okay. I'll start it off with. I thought this was, apart from the Inferno against Renegades, the most impressive result for me was, and obviously, it didn't turn out for you guys, but it definitely, like you were saying, there were multiple points in the series where it looked like you guys could really, knock out Avant in this, which would have been a ridiculous result. Obviously, there were a few mistakes, but that shit's going to happen sometimes when...
Yeah. It's not an excuse. It's just, fuck. I wish that didn't happen.
So, we'll go to Inferno then, because this was the big one, because I remember I had 3 streams on, and I was watching 3 games, and I'd scroll through them all, and I don't remember what... I think I saw... It was like fucking... I don't remember what score it was, but it wasn't a huge bracket. You guys were up, and I was like, oh, that's cool. They're up. And then I went to some different games, and then I came back, and it was 4-11, and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? 11 T rounds on Inferno against Avant. So, walk me through that. What's the... Is that just the shots were hitting at that time? Did you feel like you had their number? What was the sort of catalyst? Was it a combination of both those things? How did you feel when you were going through that T side?
I think it was Liam. He brought it up before we started the map. He was like, "This Inferno is not going to play to their playstyle, their certain playstyle that they have, or that we experienced in scrims against them." So he thought it would be a good pick, and then I trusted him, and we went with it. I think once we started I think there was one round. I was in a 1v4, and they didn't have a kit or something to defuse the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like what really... I think it was 4-0 or something. And like that put us in like full momentum. And at that point, we're just defaulting out, going off late round. And just, like you said, hitting shots, I guess.
Yeah. That was a funny round though. So the Dalton's in dark in a 1v4 in Inferno with the bombs down. And he gets a kill. And he gets traded. And then as he gets traded, one of the Avant guys tries to throw a nade in dark. It misses, bounces back, kills his own teammate, and then a guy that's further away from the bomb has to defuse the bomb, and he misses it by like half a second and dies. And they've gone in, they've just been reset, and they only keep one guy alive. And it's just like, man. I mean, like, I'll take them. I'll take those.
I remember at one point in the round, Liam like 3K entered B site, and all I hear is him yelling, "I'm so good."
Amazing. That's so good. That's brilliant. That really that'll give you a 4-11 right there. Okay, so then it goes to the little bit more, I guess, mellow side, which was T side. Now, this was a ridiculous fucking comeback from Avant to come all the way to 14 rounds. Did you guys? Was it you guys that won it off the pistol as well? It was just a deco. Is that right, or am I...
Renegades?
I can't remember, to be honest.
I watched so many fucking Inferno games. I think it was either Paradox or you guys. And the last round was like, and Deagled. And that was how it went out. But it might not have been you guys.
I don't think it was that. It might have been like the 15th round we got Deagled. I think it was the last one.
Yeah.
But I mean, that map, like, so we started the map and we were like, we got nothing to lose. These guys are going to be, they're not going to lose. We don't care. So we went in super confident.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're up 11-4. We're like, fuck, man, it sucked to lose from this position.
Yeah, nerves get in.
And then you get the pressure. You're like, it's completely flipped over. Like,
that's brilliant.
You started like, we got nothing to lose. We're underdogs. Yeah, let's go. And then you start winning. You're like, fuck, man, imagine if we didn't close this out.
Yeah, it gets real silent at the half, and somebody goes, "Be awkward if we lose this one, folks." and then it just starts ticking away.
Yeah. And then you start being like, and you start hesitating, second guessing yourself. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to take that fight. Maybe don't flash me in. They could all be there.
Yeah.
And you can't be a coward.
Mm-hmm.
CS:GO's not a coward's game.
Right. And was it I imagine it must have been a ridiculous relief that you guys did manage to just squeak that one by in that last round. Does that help a lot with momentum going into the next two, you think? Or is that more of like a fucking hell, how that was way too close?
Yeah, I mean, we won the match, and I was like, guys, that was absolutely shit. Come on, like, what are we doing? Like that's the sort of environment we're in. Like, I'm just at the end of the game, I'm just like, guys, that was shit. Can we do better? Can we do better this next map?
Yeah.
You know, I was like, and because Geordie PZ out Orpe, he kept complaining, he kept being one tapped when he was trying to hold an angle, and I'm like, Geordie, come on, man, just. I said I promised I wouldn't bully him if you want us the next map. You know, stuff like that.
Still getting bullied to this day.
Yeah, just like little jabs. But
Geordie, why didn't you win us dust?
Yeah. And then I told him, I was like, Geordie, mate, why didn't you win us? I told you I needed you to win us that next map.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's you're never gonna feel bad after losing a map, but you sort of have to be realistic and be like, you know, we did really well the first half to get that advantage, but why can't we, you know, like.
I just imagine that Key and Peele sketch where he's just sweating like more and more profusely every time as the score gets closer and closer, just like fucking hell. Yeah. So going into Dust 2 then, you guys said there was a few mistakes that happened on this one. It looked very, very close, and then it kind of felt like the last few rounds really it just sort of slipped away there. So can you give me what happened, guys? What happened?
Well, before I'll adult answer this, but before that, I feel like we lost the veto. I feel like their Mirage and their Dust 2 were like their two sort of best maps at the time, and we, you know, the way we veto, we had to leave both of them in, and we ended up having both of them in the map pool. So we knew it wasn't going to be easy.
Yeah.
You know, we knew, you know, they've got more in this map.
Yeah, we had no sway in the vetoes really coming in for sub.
Fair enough. So go on then. Walk me through Dust 2.
It was all right until Liam's game crashed on the most important round.
That was pretty bad.
I think it was like 12-12 or 12-11 or something. It was a 2v2, our T side on B site. It was the most winnable round.
Oh yeah, I've got this thing where my game, I get alt tabbed and I alt tab back in, and I can control my character. I can hear everything, but I cannot see my screen.
If anyone knows how to fix this, please.
So pretty much, there's a Twitch clip there where it's a 2v2 retake on the bomb site, and I'm crouched at car, and I start spraying the wall, and I get dinked, and I start crouching and shooting at the wall, and then we just lose the round. And like we were up.
Happened at all the whole qualifier.
Yeah, it hadn't happened the whole qualifier. We're up 12-11. You know.
I think they would have got reset.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I'm a humble guy, but being as good as I am, sometimes you need to have something that keeps you from, you know,
keeps you humble.
keeps you in check, you know, like you can't be going around winning everything.
Yeah,
you gotta leave some for the rest of them.
So you gotta have that just occasional crash. You know, I'm actually definitely gonna go into that demo folder and find that clip and then just overlay it off the top of that. That's.
I'll probably have it. I'll get it up now if you want to look at it. But it's pretty funny. But yeah.
So apart from the crashes, then were there any other big sort of like fucking hell moments?
We lost against USP by.
That sucks.
That was the one where I really got into Damo because JD was running up short. We got an entry. We had the A site, and he just went for it. He just jumped into CT spawn, and like. I mean, honestly,
on the ante, and all you hear is "Help me! Help me! Help me!"
He's just screaming. Like it's easy to blame him for that. Like he shouldn't have done it. But at the end of the day, we then lost a 4v4 against USPs.
Yeah,
not ideal. And then later on, we got like a 2v5. I think it was the old guys, APOC and Ofnu. They 2v5'd us on the. I thought it was APOC and Ofnu on the 2v5 on Dust. I think that was the Mirage one you're thinking. Yeah, and they just masterfully tore us apart, and we're just running in like clowns. Like it's a 2v5. We've got the bomb down, and we're just like panicking, and they're just like walking through the door and killing us. I'm like, man, God, we suck. Like, but yeah, that was bad. Like 5v2, right? Come on. But yeah, no, they definitely had a better Dust 2 than their Inferno, and like, I mean, we just got beaten. It's, it happened that you can't win every game. Got beaten.
Couple of key rounds, and it just it'll slip away from you. Dust 2 is one of those maps, where that'll happen to you. How do you guys feel about that Dust 2 map, by the way? Is a map you enjoy playing, or?
I mean, it's a map.
Everyone plays Dust 2.
Everyone can play it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's like what I said earlier. When we started the team, it was a map we really focused on early because it's quite simple to grasp, and so it was our main map when we started. But once you get that level, it's easy to just you put it aside. All right, Dust 2 done. There you go, and you start a different map. And so we've sort of left it undeveloped for a while. We add some stuff here and then. Dalton, finds little Twitch clips, watching his streams, watching his demos, and he's like, yeah, we could add this. So we do that, but pretty much it's untouched from the way we started it, and it's about just cycling through the different plays, different strats we have, and it's more trying to figure out how the other team's playing and how to counter that.
Fair enough.
You can always just run out long as well.
Yeah.
If nothing else works, just run out long.
Run out long. Classic strat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Or short rush. Majority of the things, really.
You can always blame the guy who went in. Why'd you stop running in? There's always the one dude at the front. I hate being the guy at the front. I always stop in the doors.
Yeah. Swede, as an in-game leader, how tough is it to call Rush B without getting just mad laughs from the rest of your teammates?
No, you just throw in. They won't expect it, and then
they won't expect it.
Trust me, they won't expect it.
Trust me, guys. Change the men. Rush B.
Change the momentum, Rush B. Well, there you go, guys. If you're in an MM game and you're trying to figure out a way to convince the other people in your team to Rush B, tell them it'll change the momentum, and you'll be able to pull it off.
The path of least resistance. Least expect it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
No one ever expects the Rush B.
No. But yeah, I mean rewind. That goes back to making sure you trust your teammates. Your teammates have trust in you. Like you've got to if he says Rush B, if any IGL says Rush B, I mean sometimes I'll say why are we doing that? I think I've got better info. I think we can do something else. But if he says if he doubles down and says no, trust me, it'll work. I was like, yeah, all right, Russian B, let's go.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have room for discussion, but at the end of the day, everyone's got to be on the same page when that round timer hits 0.
It's the oldest call in the book, and I think that really, you've got to get it down. I think practice makes perfect, and every now and then you got to call it Rush B, whether it's Mirage, Dust 2, Inferno. Really, there's pretty much every map you can pull a Rush B.
I mean, Inferno's a good B rush.
Yeah,
it's fun. You got people. You always smoke the molly and banana.
Yeah,
you got people flying around. You always have to jump through that smoke. So it's like, you just keep doing it until you get a flying CZ one tap, and then you're like, guys, we're back in the game.
We're back in, boys. We're back in. All planned. All planned. It's like flying fish coming around that corner, just fucking straight into the sky. Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. We'll go into Mirage then, because that's the final one. Again, a little bit closer to this one, 16-13. Again, very, very close coming through. Can you guys remember any of the sort of the mishaps that happened on this map? Obviously, by the way, you did say, just to preface this, that this is a map that you guys aren't like too super confident on at the moment. And considering you got 13 rounds on that, I guess that's not a bad result. But were there certain things that stick in your mind as like, okay, fuck,
I remember they tried to abuse our B, and we kept like having 3 there, but I guess we just weren't hitting shots.
They had a lot of splits up short, and we were falling apart a little bit, and then the one round we did, we had a sick B hold. It was so good, and we're in a 2v. We're in another 2v5, and I'm just like, guys, everyone jump through the market and help the guys on site, and we all jump through the market and just get absolutely destroyed. And I was like, oh man, we've just let another 2v5 happen, guys.
Oh.
But I mean, yeah, it's a team effort. It's a team loss, you know.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
it seems
I'll give someone shit for whiffing a shot. By the end of the day, it's not their fault we lost.
Yeah,
You know, everyone could have done better.
it's a team effort. It's a team effort.
All right, man. The Krieg's hard to spray.
It is hard to spray. Fuck that weapon. Just
It's a shit gun.
God.
It's a shit gun for beta males who need to zoom in to take their opponents out.
Yeah. If you buy an SG on Nuke, I hate you. All right.
Liam's got a war on scoped guns.
Oh man.
Oh, it's the worst.
Like it's fair enough. Like you do what you have to. It's a dirty game, you know. You got to win somehow.
Listen, sometimes you got to bite the ear. All right. Mike Tyson.
Yeah, no, but if a player kills me over and over again with that gun, he's not better than me until he mans up and fights me with a real gun.
With a real weapon.
I will not acknowledge his skill if he's just killing me with an SG over and over again.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm happy to say this player is better than me, but if he's using a scope gun, I will not concede. You know?
It's not happening.
Maybe I'm a boomer, you know. Maybe I'm too old for this, but I won't concede.
I agree.
To a scope gun, no.
Fuck off and use a real gun. That's what I say.
Not having it, mate. Yeah.
Especially when I'm playing Nuke and I'm going outside and some dude fucking SGs me up in heaven all the way from going down secret while still moving. He just boom, one tap. It's just like, man, why are you even playing this game? Go play Call of Duty. Just get out of here.
Liam doesn't use it. He just chucks it to me. He's like, "Scopey gun," and then chucks it.
Scopey gun. Brilliant. Yeah. It's like the classic Nico of I'm never going to use the AUG, and then they used the AUG.
Yeah.
And then it got nerfed immediately, which is brilliant. I think that might be what it is, right? We've just got to wait for Nico to use the SG, and then they'll patch it.
Definitely.
But until then, I guess we're just going to play with this broken-ass weapon.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do?
But there's only so many episodes of this podcast where I can talk about how shit the SG is before people start pulling their hair out. So,
yeah, that's all right. We can move on.
Yeah, we'll move on because, so yeah, I guess an overview then. Happy with the overall results of that katowice qual, but obviously a lot of internal problems when it comes to tech and stuff.
I mean, it was pretty much like as soon as we lost, like any of the games, we were pretty down because we felt like we could win.
Yeah.
But then like 2 days later, as a whole, we're like, that's our first step. We're not. It's not like we're super happy with it, but we're pleased.
Mm-hmm.
It's a step.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, it's like what are you gonna do? And you have you can't just sometimes it's good to do well in a qual and have someone say that you're good. Like it's nice. It's nice to get like a recognition.
Yeah, I imagine it would be.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, like, it's
So
nothing wrong with liking it.
What are the goals then coming out of the katowice qual for you guys?
Get a 5th.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Get a 5th. We got it at that ESL ANZ. We've heard nothing about it, but we want to try to qualify for that, obviously, because we don't qualify that, it'll be a pretty big failure on our part. Not trying to be cocky, but I think we should be in there. I think we should get in. Then I'll just win versus teams that we think we're better than, and push versus the teams that are more, established.
Yeah.
It's definitely little steps from now on. Like, yeah.
Well,
of course, getting 5th. Yep,
it's a marathon.
Yeah.
The most important thing is finding a 5th. So if you're a 5th out there, somebody's looking for you. So.
Yeah. No, we've got a pretty good idea.
Okay.
This should be sorted within the next few days.
Brilliant. Well, there you go. Look forwards to that announcement when that happens. Okay. Well, I do want to get off one last thing because obviously it was announced Was it a week ago? Probably. I'm losing track of all time. But they announced that the majors now will be no longer it'll be invite, or no longer it will be invite from the last results of the major. It will now be a ranking system, and the, I guess, top 8 teams in that ranking will go straight to the legend spot, and then the next 8 teams will go straight to the main qualifier spot, and then the minors will still work the same way, right? You'll go through the same way. With this, it does kind of change. I look at it from the Australian qualifier perspective, because obviously now we have 100 Thieves who are playing quite well. And hopefully if they can stay consistent, this might actually allow them to stay in that legend spot longer than maybe you could if you have to just play well at that one tournament every 2 years, So I look at that and go, okay, that's probably a good thing, right? Give them a little bit more consistency there. If they have a few good results, they can probably stay in that top 8. Then it comes down to Renegades and what they're capable of, and I think more than anything, it's probably going to come down to just getting invites. And unless they show a really big improvement with this sort of newish lineup that's coming about now, then I think it's probably still going to be going through the minor for those guys. So that kind of sort of counters the old plan of like, oh well, what if they make it into the main stage, I guess, and then win a map. That's all they had to do before, and then there'd be 2 spots now to go through to the Asia minor. Now it seems more likely that it's going to stay at that one, short of Renegades playing really well. So what are your guys' thoughts on that then? With that main qualifier, is that a good thing for you guys, you think? Or just the Australian scene in general?
Do you have any strong thoughts, Dalton, on this topic?
Not really.
Not really?
Well, okay. So the thing that I don't like about it is, right. So from what I read, they're gonna like add some title onto an existing event. Like
2 events.
make it 2 events. So it's gonna be an event that already exists, and they're gonna turn it into a Valve ranking event, whatever.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is the fact that so the top 8 teams from that ranking get invited. You could have situations where you've got a team that's 8th and a team that's 9th, both playing different opponents, and the outcome of that match determines which one of those teams gets in.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not playing against each other for the spot,
Mm-hmm.
So you got depending on if there's a seeding mishap or a team, like say a team is like super. I don't know if it's like a Swiss system. They're like 4-0 and they just lose one, and so a team that maybe didn't deserve or isn't as well respected is now higher up on this Valve ranking than another team, even if head to head they're a weaker team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the idea of relying on other games' results affecting the standing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to, you can't completely eliminate it because of group stages and all that. But it's just a bad feeling,
Yeah, I think
similar with like going through a round difference. You're like, stuff like that. It's just sort of a bit of a buzzkill. But I mean, as a whole, I don't think it was necessary. Like, what's wrong with the way we have it now?
Yeah, I think obviously the last 2 majors have not really had to suffer from it too much, but there was definitely times in the past where you would get a team that would qualify in, just like a random CIS team.
Like a flip side or something.
Yeah, and they make it all the way to the legend stage, and then they do nothing.
Yeah,
for the rest of the
that
year.
is true. I guess they're trying to get rid of that.
Yeah, and
They want active teams in there.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that there's just certain teams that will play nothing except for the major. And then you can make it all the way to the legend stage and literally not have to play another map until the next major. And you're going to go straight into the major. So that's
and you're going to get all that money from the stickers.
Exactly. I think that's... I don't like that, and I think that's the main thing that this benefits from. My problem with it is well, I don't know if it's necessarily a problem, but I think I kind of agree with you in a similar way where it comes down to, first of all, okay, what tournaments are we having that are going to have that ESL, the Valve label on it? Do they have any rules on who's going to be invited to those? Because then it's going to come down to, you're seeing things like this Blast tournament now where, Mouse Sports and Fnatic, regardless of whatever you think, I don't really give a fuck about that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say they give one of the tournaments to Blast. Well, now Mouse Sports and Fnatic can't play in that tournament, and they're not going to be able to get any points towards that ranking. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. And then I'm also concerned about, they specifically stated that Valve will not be forcing any kind of format. And I don't like that at all. Like, what? So are you going to pick a tournament where they just go, all right, well, the group stage is going to be best of ones.
Yeah.
And then the next tournament is full best of threes. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, so you could get into a situation where in one tournament, one team could just win a bunch of best of threes and place higher than another tournament where it's all BO3s, and maybe they get, a few better wins against better opponents, but they're not going to rank as far because you don't have to rely on the luck of BO1 draws.
Yeah, definitely. Like, different formats have, different potentials for like upsets and deep runs,
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot easier to get through some system than another. So, I mean, it's a good concept. It's just like, is it going to be done well? That's the thing.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to be done well, everyone's going to hear about it. You're going to have people, saying, told you so.
The infinite loop of Valve.
At the end of the day, I don't think it's going to affect the best teams, and I think the best teams are still going to be the ones winning the majors. So it's more about those fringe teams trying to, get in that sweet stick of money and whatever.
Yeah.
Trying to get a semi-final
I did like
spot.
the aspect of they said they were going to match the prize pool up to 200k or something.
250, yeah, 250.
Yeah, more involvement by Valve.
But again, they'll match it, right? So the tournament organizer can then just go, okay, well now we can get a tournament for cheaper, and it's going to have a bigger prize pool. That's obviously it's a very cynical way to look at it, but I just feel like that's not going to mean a larger prize pool. It probably is going to stay at 500,000, and whoever puts it in will just match that 250 and then go, okay, well, now we get a bigger prize pool and we don't have to invest as much into it. Obviously a very cynical way to look at it, but,
It's a good business decision by them.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that system would work better in Dota. I'm not sure how Dota works, but...
Yeah, I don't know. My main thing is we always get these like very little involvement from Valve, and then when they do involve, it's always a very big change, and then you're going to get a lot of criticism for that. And I feel like they take that criticism to heart. That's probably not the best way to put it, but like they seem to take it the wrong way a lot of the time, and because they put so little into it, and then every time they do put into it, it's a massive big change. Of course, you're always going to get criticism for every change you have, and then it might seem like, oh, we don't want Valve to change the game. I want Valve to be involved, but just you know what I mean. You've got to understand that if you are going to do it this way, where you're going to leave us with nothing, and then every now and then give us a massive update, obviously there's going to be some criticism there, because it does kind of feel like there's a little bit of disconnect between them and the rest of the community when it comes to the meta and all these kind of different things.
Yeah. I guess, but I mean, like, to be honest, what are you going to do about it? It's their choice. You got to adapt or die.
Yeah.
True. They don't like changing, going back on their changes. If they spend 6 months planning a change and they put it in, they're not gonna, just, we won't do it then just because people are playing. Yeah. It's their vision. It's their game. You just gotta deal with it. It's me. I gotta man up. I gotta deal with the SG.
Yeah.
That's a personal journey.
It's a personal journey for me as well. Yeah. Sorry, Swede.
Sorry, I wonder if they'll prefer, like, how Australia's preferring Blast.
Yeah.
I wonder if the top teams will only prefer these events now, and we'll see little of the top teams at events.
Yeah.
Only have the majors and these 2 events in between.
To be honest, man, isn't it crazy that might still result in more tournaments with top teams in them. Like last year, man. Like what did we have? It was the 2 majors, and was it ESL1 Cologne? Was that the one I'm talking about? Where it was like, it really was like 4 tournaments, 3 or 4 tournaments where we had everyone in it.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, listen, I understand that there's a lot more tournaments on, and the scene's getting bigger, and that's obviously going to be an inevitable part of it slowly growing. But it does suck because, especially for me, coming from the old 2012 Counter-Strike where every damn tournament everybody was invited to it, and you would watch every single one because it's like, wow, it's like a whole season, whereas now it's a lot more split out, and you go, I mean, that tournament only has this team and this team, so I'm just going to miss it.
Yeah. And another thing I just thought of, like you could now have a situation where a team wins a major, drops off, and is not at the next one.
Yeah.
You don't have the reigning champion there just because, like think about, maybe Cloud9 after they win that major, maybe they drop off and they don't go to the next one.
Yeah.
Same with Gambit when they won.
But I'll be honest, man, I don't want to see that Cloud9 lineup at any future majors.
Well, it's a bit of a storyline killer.
Yeah, I guess it does. But again, I don't know. There's positives and negatives to it. I think is the best way to wrap it all
negatives. Up. Positives and negatives to everything, though. Everything in life, it's all about balance.
Yeah,
and not fucking it up.
It's all about balance, not fucking it up. And if you know how to fix the issue where when you alt tab you can't see anything, please message Liam because he needs your help.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably end it with that one because there's a lot of words of wisdom there, and there seems to be a very angry dog in the background. So now is as good a time of any, just in case you do get eaten. That would probably be not good for YouTube, so I'll have to cut that part out. But anyway, thank you guys all for coming. Thank you, both you two, for being here. I don't usually do duos, but I think this one went quite well. So it's been a pleasure having you both on.
Yeah. Thank you for having for me and my carer on the show.
No worries. It's always good to have a carer. But
Good
anyway, that's been the 20-something episode of the podcast. I've got another one scheduled that's going to come up very soon. And
probably got better people on it than us, so stay tuned.
Listen, everybody is of equal weight to me. I love everyone, so it's actually really been a pleasure to talk to you guys. Honestly, I was really surprised by the katowice results, and I think you guys played really well. And I'll look forward to following you guys in the future. So,
thanks, mate.
That'll be it for us then, folks, and we'll catch you next time. I guess that'll be it. Peace out.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Kanye.